Welcome back to Real Talk with Scott and Julio, where we're talking about Colorado, some real estate, and highlighting some of our favorite people here in Colorado doing some amazing things. Today, joined by one of my best friends, Raezelle Maestas, just an incredible, incredible woman. Thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah.
And just to start us off, who are you and what do you do?
Yeah, so I a native, I guess how everybody likes to say, like a Colorado native.
There
So
we go.
weird. I don't have the
Yeah.
bumper
Born
sticker
and
though. Yeah, but
We don't need a bumper sticker.
yeah, I'm not gonna get one. I can't do it. I've looked at them. I'm like, maybe I bedazzled. I'm like, nah, I'm not doing this. But yeah, Colorado native. But what I do for work, I work in healthcare, but I am a director of business development in surgical sales. So yeah, just working in outpatient surgeries and just kind of seeing how all the dynamics work in there and any influence I can have in it. I try to.
Yeah.
And then when I'm not doing that, I like helping out my friends on like production shoots and like assistant directing and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Nice. I've always known you to be incredibly talented. Can you share a
thanks.
little bit about what you do with the church and LifeGate?
Yeah, absolutely. So out in Aurora, I'm on the teaching team for LifeGate Young Adults, and I've been doing that for like 3 years now.
Yeah.
But yeah, this ministry is crazy. Like we started off like meeting in the lobby, and I think at that point it was like 40 people. And now like we're at like 180, like
gosh.
consistently, like every week. And
That's
so
because the teaching is so amazing.
oh my God. Well, there's a group of teachers that are, part of that. We don't have like one head pastor, but there's like a group of us collectively teaching, which is like a little bit different of a ministry dynamic, but I get to literally do ministry with my friends. And yeah, like, so every Tuesday night, that's where I'm at. So yeah, like tonight, that's where I'll be, and hanging out with the young adults and leaning into God's word and encouraging one another through prayer and things like that.
So, how old are the students? Or
So the age range is between like 18 to 30, which is a large gap, but primarily like we did a whole survey. I was like a pain to get young adults to do a survey, but like everybody was in the survey and our average age is 25.
Okay.
And so, yeah. And so we have people coming in fresh from, college, and then some that are like going into like their careers a little bit more in depth. And so the circle groups that we have there, the conversations are just vast. Like people are constantly like bringing in different dynamics. Like, I remember when I was doing that. Or even the person like that's diving deep into their career, they're like, oh man, I lost the joy of what it was like to be a student again. And so like you're seeing a different group of people around a table like at all times, which is pretty cool.
it's like a big life change. It's maybe they've gone to college, maybe they've, and they're like, okay, this is now I have to be an adult. What's next?
Right.
That's
like
a big
and
deal.
then people always joke, they're like, well, so when do you, graduate from young adult to adult? And I was like, I don't know. I think it's like your own spirit type thing. Like, because everybody at heart wants to be like a young adult, but I'm like, I don't know, when you're in your 20s and then when you hit your 30s, it's like, now you're an adult. Like you got to have it figured out is what people are saying. But I'm like, I don't think so.
You're 31.
Yeah, boom.
31, Julio.
Julio said, wait, do I have it?
I can't come anymore? Or?
No, please come.
Yeah. I mean, so many talents, so many avenues. Do you enjoy that, having a few different things that you are focused on and are working towards? And what's that like, balancing all that?
Oh, it's such a fun question. I do enjoy it. I feel like there's different like things that make us come alive in like different arenas. When I'm like with the young adults, like I said, like they're encouraging me, like the young students coming in. But then like the other week, like when I was in an OR room, which mind you, I don't have clinical background. So I was like, I wear blue, I don't touch anything. But like this surgeon's like listening to like some rock music. And I'm like, okay, as he's like redoing a whole knee. And I'm like, this is fascinating. And then after he's like, what do you think? I was like, what did I think? Like, this is insane. I've never seen that before. But being able to, go from being in scrubs to like, okay, now I'm like prepping for a sermon to maybe the next day over, I'm like, like I'm looking at a whole, film script with the friends saying like, how can we modify this to fit a theme? Like, I think it just pulls at different ways like God's wired us. And I don't know, I don't know if I could just stick to one thing at all times. And not because it's like, it's not exciting, but I think I just get excited being a part of different things. And so, yeah, I try to balance it the best I can. I like to look at my schedule, and if I don't see like enough people time, then I got to put that in there. Or if I don't see enough like education time, I'm like, I should throw a book in the mix, like different things like that, and try to just be like more of a like dynamic human is how I see it.
Totally.
Love that.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I always wonder, like you mentioned the rock song with the surgeon. Or
Oh
whatever.
my gosh,
like,
yeah.
like baseball players have their walk-up song. Like, what is like a surgeon's walk-up song?
Okay, like 1 week it was, like heavy metal. And then the next it was one of the surgeons, like the ortho doc was listening to reggae music. And I was like, honestly, to each their own. Like I was more like in the vibes with the reggae, but you know, the surgeon, they're both, you know, they're operating well. And so I'm like, whatever you want to listen to, it's your room. You know?
So you're seeing everything. Like you, like
blood. So like early on into like the career, they want you to just like experience what the surgeon is doing so that you can like see how they operate in the room, what they're doing. But yeah, I didn't go to school for healthcare.
Are you good at that? Like, I know some people just get nauseous, or were you fine?
The first one, I definitely thought I was gonna pass out. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like I was like, oh my gosh, these lights are really bright, and I was like, holy cow, like that I'm getting queasy. But I think after a couple times, you get a little bit more used to it. But yeah, the first one, I was like, get me out of here. This is weird.
Yeah, our veterinarian, Ross Henderson, shout out, let me come into a surgery on our dog at the time, and
oh my gosh,
I lasted for a few minutes and had to step out. But I'm
good.
Yeah,
graphic, man. Yeah, you don't, you know, you see stuff on TV and stuff, but it doesn't reflect at all what it's like in person. So
yeah,
kudos to you.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I won't hang out in the OR rooms a lot. They said just like your first couple months doing it. Yeah, and I'm like, okay, sure. And then I'm like, I'm more so on the developmental side, on the business side. I'm like, I'd rather do that stuff.
Yeah, my gosh.
So you had mentioned you're from Colorado, so and you stayed, you know, here. So what's I guess why have you chosen to stay in our state?
Yeah, so well, I've lived here most of my life. For college, I actually went to school in Georgia.
Oh yeah.
And then during the pandemic,
where'd you go?
It was Atlanta Leadership College. Cool. Yeah, so it was like a smaller Bible college.
Yeah.
And then during the pandemic, we went home during spring break and we never went back.
Oh, wow.
And so it was, I mean, it was a crazy transition. Like I know a lot of people that have that storyline of, wow, like an abrupt ending to school and things like that. Like my graduation was over Zoom. That was crazy.
Oh,
so I'm like, yeah, I guess we like step over to imaginary line. Yeah, exactly. And yeah, I was there, but I think honestly, if it wasn't for the pandemic, I might have stood out there. Like I was so used to just like exploring a different like means of life and experiencing different cultures and a different scene. And then, yeah, when I came back home, I think I realized for me the most important thing was being near to my family. And all my family's within like a 10-mile radius. Like my closest friends, like I think Julio was like 10 minutes up the road from me. Like being able to, you know, go have dinner with friends and, you know, have a birthday party for a family member. And I'm like able to make most of them. Like that just became way more important to me around the pandemic time. Yep. And then that's what made me stay. And so
love it.
I just remember praying and saying, God, like I had a beautiful community in Georgia, like really faith-based, and they're encouraging me and, you know, those things. And I was like, I want that, but I want it in Colorado. Like, could you give it to me? And years later, like I feel like almost an abundance of people and in friendship. And yeah, I'm glad I stood. So.
Do you still keep in contact with your friends in Georgia?
I do, yeah. Most of them are traveling and doing crazy things. Like I have one friend she was just in Thailand doing like a whole, like she was just going through all the different cities and meeting different friends and things like that. There's a couple of them that are still in ministry, but they're all kind of scattered. But yeah, I keep in contact with them.
That's amazing.
They're awesome. Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, that school, you know, my kids are all older now, but they were like high school, middle school during COVID. It was such a weird dynamic. Yeah. It's like to go away for spring break and like and then never go back to school for a while.
And then from everything just transitioning to being online and what that looks like and learning that way and creating that discipline. Like how do you put, you know, a kindergartner on a Zoom call and say, okay, we're going to learn ABCs? Like that kid's thinking about the cartoons, you know? Like, how do you, that's a crazy transition. Like, and we all had to do it. Like it wasn't a yes or no or an option, you know?
Yeah. That's such a wild time. Like, I wonder, this is a deeper conversation than we have time for now, but like how many mental health issues popped up in that time frame and we're dealing with still, right?
Yeah.
You know, we encountered a time none of us have ever encountered like that, you know? So everybody had to adapt, adjust, still adapt and adjust, right? And, you know, thankful that we're here on the other side of it. And the bonds that formed, I would say, you know, God absolutely worked because I feel like that's where you and I bonded. You know, we really helped carry our church at the time.
We sure did.
And what I look back and I'm really, really fond. And it's all the emotion, right? It's for me when I look back, it was really special, obviously really hard, but that pattern change I know taught me so much about myself, and to be able to bond with people like you. I had gotten married in 2019, so it wasn't a bad thing to be cooped up with my wife the first year. You know, it was pretty awesome.
Love Talia.
Yeah, shout out Talls, but Also, yeah, just big ups to our fellow homeowner in here too.
Let's
Like during
go.
that time coming
There we
back
go.
to Colorado,
Oh yeah.
you know, that's
That was
amazing
crazy.
to
Yeah.
be able to purchase a home. And with how old you are, that's awesome. What have you loved about that? Or
That's such a fun question. I remember it was during the pandemic that I was like,
yeah,
oh, like I should buy a home. And then I met the
Yeah.
lender and I was like, I can't buy a home yet. Like, I got to clean this up and then I can get a home. And I just think it also like taught me the process of not having like instant gratification and like, hey, if I like work towards something, like I can own a home. And then like now, like I always laugh, like a few of my friends have like my door code like to my house, and like sometimes I like pull up to my house, I'm like, oh, look who's here, you know. You know, there's like some shoes. I love when there's like just an array of different shoes and shoe sizes like by my door, and like my couch is being taken over, my snacks are always gone because my nephews and niece will eat them. And yeah, I think the transition of making just a place like an address to now like a home that people are like taking over my dinner table and like hanging out on my couch, like I absolutely love that. Like I love when, you know, I'm like walking away and I can hear like echoes of laughing and different things from just like hosting.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I read a book. It was called The Gospel Comes with a House Key. And it's just, oh man, if you haven't read it,
yes,
please add it to your list, top
Okay.
of the list. But
Gospel,
the
yeah,
book
great
literally just
title.
talks about, right? It just talks about like what it means to be just so invitational with your home for people, and how the early church started that way. And what it means to bring people into your space and to almost welcome inconvenience, just like assume like it's going to happen and this should just be part of my everyday rhythm, you know?
that hits big time.
Yeah.
Welcome inconvenience.
That's a good one.
Yeah, yeah. I know Scott and Jen; they're amazing hosters as well. Number one with their home, with this space personally. Like,
Yeah.
You know, thanks for making us look great.
Yeah. You're welcome.
No problem.
Yeah,
It was a problem. It was good. It's good.
So there's a little bit of a problem.
There's blood, sweat, and tears in this place for sure.
Wipes forehead. Yeah.
Ray, you inspire me every time we're together, and every
thanks,
time we're
Ray.
not together. Even just the way we now connect on social media. And Scott and I are always looking for ways to grow. What's one practice or habit that really keeps you grounded, or that you always go back to?
I think journaling. Yeah, I'm fascinated by the different things that we can take from like our mental capacity and then be able to articulate and write them down. But then also the days when you don't know what to say and like you just start writing and it's complete gibberish. But also it gets to be looked at as like your own little history book. Like I have in my basement now, like journals, like I think I've told you about them before, but like when I was like 16 and I was like, good Lord, like why was I so hung up over that? You know, and now I'm 20. Oh, I just turned 27. Yeah, now I'm 27 and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I can look back and be like, oh, look at her growth, you know? And I just think like having a storyline of the things that you've gone through in life and to be able to process them out, and like, and also how things sometimes are so much bigger in our mind than they are when we put them down and we're like, it's actually not that big a deal. Like it's actually going to be okay.
Yep.
I think journaling is such a beautiful way to do that. But I also, as crazy as it sounds, I learned one of those practices from kickboxing.
Yeah, I know. Yep.
Yeah, so like kickboxing is something I absolutely love doing.
Yeah.
But I
boss.
started about like 2 years ago in kickboxing, and I went in and the coach was like, Raezelle, like you can't focus on a combo and a toxic thought at the same time. Like one of them has to win. And I was like, okay, like what does that mean? And so like, she's like, okay, she's like, I want you to think about everything throughout your day and I'm going to throw combos at you as you're going. And she's like, okay, I want you jab, cross, hook. And I'm like, I could not have both residing in my mind at the same time. And then she sat me down. She's like, that's today's life lesson. She's like, you get to choose every time you walk into the gym, but every time you walk into like your own gym of life is how she said it, what you choose to focus on. And she's like, so is it going to be a toxic thought or is it going to be your combo? And she's like, let something win in your mind. Like choose what gets to win. And that's like biblical. Like,
Some wisdom
you know,
there, yeah.
yeah.
for sure.
So it's, you know, focusing on things that are higher and above you. And yeah, I think that really started like a really good habit in me of like, okay, how do I prioritize the right thought and like the holy thought and the thought that like leads me closer to Christ and not towards my own flesh? That's huge. And yeah, I remember her telling me, she's like, okay, she's like, our next session, you know, it's going to be at 5:15. I said, oh, awesome. I get off of work at 4:30. I'll bring my clothes and my gym bag. She goes, no, 5:15 a.m. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me. I was like, you're insane. The sun's not even up. Like, I'm not coming. And she said, you have to learn. You know what I mean? I was like, there's no way. Like, you can have snacks. Like, what the heck? But she just told me, she said, if you can learn to prioritize yourself at that hour of the morning, she's like, you'll be so surprised at how the rest of your day goes.
Yeah.
She says a lot of things try to gravitate for your attention, but she said that's a big one. You just get up early and prioritize that. So I'd say between a good space of journaling and kickboxing, those are the habits.
Those are awesome.
Yeah.
I'm ready for the autobiography. someday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's gonna happen.
Oh, it'd be so fun to write about that. Yeah, kickboxing's taught me a lot too. So
Totally, that's great.
yeah.
It reminds me because you said what toxic thoughts and combos
Yep.
It's almost like worship and worry. You know, like when you're worshiping, you can't be worried.
That's so good.
So that's like one of those.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever heard of Lectio 365. It's a prayer app.
Yeah.
I was listening to it a couple weeks ago, and it said something like, how can I worship without worry? Because it's easy to not worship without worry because they can't be in the same time. But how can I just focus on worship and not worrying about like what's happening in my own mind, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
So it's similar to
yeah.
what you were
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think because sometimes you think too, like, well, I can't bring even my worry into worship, and it's like just let one of them win though, like because they're probably they can both be in the same song. Like you listen to different worship songs and like they go from a state of worry into worship, and it's like it's how do you allow yourself to go through that process, you know?
Yeah. Oh man, you got to meet my daughter.
Amazing.
You guys have awesome conversations.
Yeah.
She's
Okay,
awesome.
I would love to. Yeah.
Great singer.
What's her name?
Her name is Maylee.
Maylee?
She's a worship leader at Flatirons Church.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, she sings down in Denver most of the time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to meet Maylee.
Yeah, you guys would get along
I would
really
love
well.
to.
Yeah, she's great.
So we're in February 2026.
We sure are.
Is there something you're looking forward to or excited about this year?
You know, this is funny enough, but I, for a long time, have actually wanted to start my own podcast. So that was something I've talked to Julio about it for forever. I feel like it was always like, oh, it'd be so fun, like a pipe dream. But yeah, I feel like at the end of last year, I really had just prayed through it. And I was like, why would I want to have a podcast? What would I want to do with my podcast? And I just want to hear people's stories. I want to hear and because I just genuinely feel like I have the best people in my life. And I want other people to know those people. And so I like a cool means to do that as a podcast. And so the hope is to have a first episode produced by middle of summer. That's like my own personal goal. But yeah, and it's called My Friends, and just inviting my friends onto a podcast and
love that.
Just hearing about their life and their stories. I think it's Eugene Peterson. He says, people are not problems to be solved, but they're mysteries to be explored. And I just think that people need to be, there's so many people that in a sweet way, like they're a mystery that you get to explore with them. If you just sit just a little bit longer to get from like chapter 1 to chapter 2, it tells a lot about a person. Yeah. And so I'd love to kind of start that this year. So that's something I'm looking forward to. Yeah.
I know a great place to do it.
Yeah. I mean.
and if I may, shout out, you just landed an amazing job position, right? Like just getting started.
I did. Yeah.
Congrats, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah. That's awesome. So I imagine that's kind of a focus too. A bit,
that's a huge focus. Yeah. I feel like I'm a new student. Like I said, even being in the OR room, I was like, wow, I've never seen that before. And so I just feel like this is like my year of learning. I've definitely like coined it that way. Like I have little flashcards by my bed of different like medical terminology that like I didn't go to healthcare school, I didn't get my degree in that. And so right now is like I'm teaching myself these things, surrounding myself with different mentors. I have a great team of people that I'm working with. And I just feel like I'm going to be learning a bunch this year. I won't be operating on anybody, but I'll be observing. I'm not trained like that. But
yeah. Well, we've come to, I think, one of our favorite parts of our show, and it's just a word association. So first thing off the top of your head, it could be, you could elaborate, you could keep it simple.
Okay.
But I'll start us off. I don't know what I'm going to ask. Scott doesn't either. So let's see.
Close. I have no idea what you're going to say.
I'll start with Denver Broncos.
Go Broncos.
Yes.
I think the team is so sweet, and that I think this team and this year is going to produce a level of resilience in a team. And I think a lot of people are going to look at the Broncos as like, how do you stick through adversity? And then how do you come back when like you have something in like such close grip? Like they were one game away from like, you know what I mean? Like going like and having like just a huge victory for the city of Denver and for their team. And I think like if you can have something in front of you and then you almost like miss the shot, it gives you like a I don't know, a catapult into getting it the next time. And so I think there's going to be a lot of stories written about them.
Yep.
I think a lot of the players, they have a level of resilience that I haven't seen amongst many teams. I think it's going to be something sweet to observe.
How many games did you go to this season?
Oh my gosh, not enough. No, just kidding. No, maybe like 5 or 6.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to go on one of those with you.
Dude, that was so fun.
Freaking blast.
Yeah. I'm a big Broncos fan. And I do have like a few friends that do play. And so I think seeing your friends do what they love and then them being the same person, like on the field as they are off. You're like, oh, like I'm rooting for you. So I'm excited to see them do their thing like this upcoming year.
Me too. We're going to rock the Chiefs this year.
Oh, yeah. You know,
we got a big Chiefs fan. We love them.
Okay, so I have some random words sometimes. So yogurt.
Can't have it. Like
no?
I can't have dairy. You know,
no dairy.
That's the first thing that comes to my mind. But if they have like a dairy-free yogurt, I'm in. Yeah. Okay. But then I also think frozen yogurt. Love frozen yogurt. So sometimes it's a sweet treat.
There we go. Sweet.
Yeah.
I've saved this word. It's a little generic, but you're a good person to ask. Travel.
Oh, everybody needs to travel. Like even if it's just like a quick mountain trip or I don't know, just just get out of your own like mile radius of what you're used to, experience a new restaurant, a new face. Like if you have the opportunity to like go put like a stamp on your passport, like do it in a heartbeat. Like there's never been a trip that I've gone on that I've regretted. And I think when you are more culturally minded of people, it makes you show up in rooms differently. Yeah. Like you actually want to get to know your neighbor and the stranger. Like, so it's like, go travel, go like put it on your books, like prioritize
so
travel.
Glad I saved this word for you.
Yes, like please prioritize travel. If there's one thing I would tell anybody, it's that. Prioritize your travel.
Yeah, love that. Thanks for playing our word association.
Yeah, that's so fun, guys. Yogurt, I'm like, I love it.
No, Ray, thank you for your authenticity, your grace, your spirit, your joy. You mean so much to Talia and I, and we just love you so much and excited for all the life we've shared, all the life to come.
Yes.
And thanks for joining us today on Real Talk with Scott and Julio. Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Loved having you.
Yeah,
you got some wisdom,
right? I told you, I was like, Scott, amazing. My girl's coming in. You're gonna love it. Yeah,
he warned me. I wasn't ready. So good.
I'm surrounded by the best friends.
So good, so good. Well, thanks everybody for joining us, and please like and subscribe. We got a lot more fun stuff coming at you. So thanks again.